Okay. One more second. Sending data, sending data. All right, we're online. Take it away, Reggie.
Lit. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Berkeley Poetry Slam. My name is Reggie, and this is Quarantine Edition. Before we continue, we got a great night. We got a feature. We got an amazing lineup of poets. But before we continue, I got to lay down some ground rules. First, for the poets, no props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment, no nudity. Like, I don't know why you would want to do that on the internet. I mean, I do, but like on Facebook, like get a zucked. That's not cool. But most important is your time limit. You have 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds. After 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Kalalia. Everybody send positive energy for our scorekeeper doing math on a Wednesday night in a quarantine. That's a lot. Um, but yeah, after 4 minutes, normally we cut you off with like music, but like it's Zoom. So like we're just gonna mute you and it's gonna be awkward for everyone, including me, and I'm too awkward to recover from it. So it's just gonna be an interesting night after that. So please, if you missed 310, please keep it under 4 minutes. Next for the judges, judges, if you could just raise your scoreboard so I can see where you are. I got one judge, two judge, three judge, four judge. I think I have all five. One, two, three, four, five. Yes, perfect. I can count. It's beautiful. Judges, y'all have the hardest job of the night. You have to judge the poetry openly. You'll be scoring poets from a zero point 0 to 10.0 scale, 0.0 being the worst thing you ever heard in your life. You'd rather sell your children and your house and your car and live in the woods naked and alone and afraid than ever listen to that poem again. On the flip side, a 10 is the best thing you've ever heard in your life. It's amazing. It's like the Savage remix, except not only did they get Beyonce, but they got Rihanna on the album, and right after it, the remix is a hidden track, and you realize that she dropped all of R9 as a hidden track on this song. And that's just like an 8.9. There's not a lot of zeros, there's not a lot of tens. Score accordingly. There's this thing called score creep, whereas the night goes on and we all might get a little drizz, get a little smiz, the poetry starts sounding better. But that's not fair for the person who came up in the beginning of the night when we were all sober. So there will be a sacrificial poet, someone who is going to get you calibrated. Any poems you like more than that poem, score them higher. Any ones you don't like as much, score them lower. A good way to keep track is, and to stay fair, is to write your calibration score somewhere where you can always look at it, reference it, and be reminded of what you first heard and what you're basing all of your scores on. And finally, for the audience, first, like, share, subscribe to our IG and our Twitter at Berkeley Slam and Facebook at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Comment on our feed. Let these poets know how much you love their work. I don't know about everybody else, but like I do go back into the live stream afterwards and read like all the comments. So you can make a poet's day by saying something nice, saying that you like their poem. We're all disconnected, but we can be disconnected together, if that makes sense. Um, yeah. And also just be mindful that this slam is a freedom of speech zone. People are going to be coming up here and talking about a variety of things, hopefully all their own personal experiences in their own original work. That being said, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from the consequences of what the fuck you just said. So we do have moderators, we do have like team members in here. Just know that if you're saying something problematic, you're saying something harmful, like we will check in with you. We will call you in, and work with you to restore, um, you know, trust and peace in the community. So yeah, let's see. I think I got all of that. Are we ready to hear who's going to be in our slam? I think we are. So the poets shall be reading in this order. We got Diesel, we got Gareth, we got Dog Days Are Over, we got Hobby, we got Nicole, we got Colin, we got Chardonnay, then we got Damani, um, and then we have our feature, Lit. So I think,
Oh my God, yay.
are we ready to start the show?
Yeah.
No, we're not. We need our sacrificial poet, someone to get the judges warmed up. So everybody send maximum love, positive energy for our sacrificial poet, Prophet.
Yeah, Prophet.
Woo!
You
Oh,
have the
all right,
floor,
let's see myself.
Prophet.
How we doing, everybody? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. No, I'm just bullshitting. The youth are getting more stoned than Medusa staring at her reflection. We about to spark an insurrection. No disrespects to President-elect. You selling us a message in the planet-sized recession with no medicine. Fuck you, brethren. Thanks to you, the corporations take aim at us. The world ends in a month and ain't nobody can save us. I'm tired of all this hurting and anguish. And what's worse is I'm thankful, though every breath is like a surge to the pancreas. I know people doing felonies to get through the week. Who can blame them? They suffer, thus the melody's deep. I was raised on the south side where the villain is king and God is his holy power which delivers the sting. Yo, my youth was one of knowledge of the pleasures of street. Before I speak, give me a second to seek. I refuse to be meek. Imagine you being pulled from a creek for you refusing the illusion of peace. So whenever the devil cries, it's never cause several die. Freedom stings to an Egyptian embezzled in rebel skies. Let the trouble rise, basically. Bellows with mellow eyes and yellow sides talk of peace, but prefer be weaponized. It's never pride that makes us brazen. Our leaders are on the binge. Clever minds been on destruction to capture the souls of men. When the winter solstice opens, ghetto hopelessness is potent. Listen up. I supply you with the potion right before a drone hits. With the persistence of a predator loan, automatic precision snipers make sure you'll never see home. Like the debt that you put us in with smooth deception, it's honed. Your lectures don't change the truth. You neglected your own, so let the record be shown that if you target the facts, the government just waged the war. Freedom's the heart of attack. They've raped and poisoned the land till nature sanded the coast by hurricane. Unfazed, they left the masses engulfed, so we blazing in flames and dangerous. Thank you.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Reggie, you're muted.
Okay, that was Prophet. Send maximum love to the poet. And let's see those scores, judges. I got 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4 score. Can I get a 5th score? All right, we got a low. Let them know how you feel of a 6.4. It jumps up to an 8, an 8.3, an 8.3, and an 8.9. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet.
Were y'all reading the fucking poem?
Yeah, poet.
That is just one audience member's opinion. I am an unbiased host. Speaking of unbiased, I am not infallible. I forgot to mention something about the time limit for the poets. Y'all, we recognize it's a digital age and this like technology is like super weird. So you do have like a second to check in, be like, can everybody hear me? Get your sound right before your poet. But the moment you start engaging the chat as a poet, performer is the moment that we start the time. So you can say something like, can you all hear me? Yeah, so moving on deck, we have Dog Days. I'm sorry. On deck, we have Gareth. But give maximum love to the first poet of our slam. Give it up for D Soul.
You have the
Yeah,
floor.
poet.
Sweet, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
When I was younger, I used to think melanin and melatonin were the same words said different ways. As one can imagine, this inspired a lot of questions like, how does melatonin help you sleep? My melanin keep me up at night, make it hard to distinguish between gunshots and fireworks, make a cop car look like the middle passage, make a siren scream feel like a funeral procession. Isn't taking a melatonin pill problematic? I don't think skin work that way. Don't think you can choose to turn your melanin on and off like a light switch. Don't think you can choose when and where to have a target on your back. Why would anyone want to give themselves melatonin? Why would you curse yourself with darkness? Yes, I can see the draw and skin that don't crack, but the trade-off is that you can't walk around safely at night or midday or anytime one of our melanin deficient friends decides it is time for you to meet the end of their bullet. Turns out both words come from the Greek word melan, black. In literary symbolism, we often associate black with death. We often associate sleep with death. We think of darkness as a sort of dying, so it is no surprise that everyone takes this pill. Everyone wants to be black, but no one wants to die for it. This melanin is the closest thing to our melatonin they can have. Sleep is the only way they can understand what it's like to be black, to always have death hovering over you, to close your eyes and wonder if another day is promised, or if a cop will shoot through your door, or on your couch, or on the BART. To be black is to always be asleep, to always have dreams you can never remember the endings to, or never get to see, to watch others take your black for themselves and be mad when you ask for it back, when you ask them to wake up, when you ask them to stop romanticizing the dark. You want this black till you see what nightmares it can give you tomorrow. You will get to wake. You will get to choose which face to put on. You will get to regulate just how much of this dark you want, but black people will always be sleepwalking, always be asking for a quiet night, always be praying for a sunrise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, D
Gang,
Soul.
gang,
Everybody
gang,
give
gang,
it
gang,
up
gang, gang,
for
gang.
the poet and judges.
Gang.
You know what to do. Got 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4. Can you back it away from the mic? There we go. I just wanted to make sure I put up the right one. Shakti, can you write yours just a little darker? There we go. We got a low. Let them know how you feel of a 7.7. It goes up to an 8.1, 8.2, 8.9, and a 9.8. Once again, fuck the scores. It's not about the points. It's about the poetry. So give it up for the poet. Yes. On deck, we have Dog Days Are Over, but give maximum love to the next person coming up on the slam. Give it up for Gareth.
Hey everyone,
Gareth, you have the floor.
thank you. My masculinity is as loud as the devil on my shoulder. A constant reminder of what it means to be masculine, of what it means to be a man. As a younger boy, I was told I made went south. Can y'all hear me? The decision to swallow my pride as it was burning my insides. But isn't that what it means to be a man? To feel comfort in the pain, to feel joy in the pain that made me lose my girlfriend. As my pride kept telling me that men don't apologize, men don't say sorry. Apologies are a compromise, a risk to your manhood. something more important than your relationship. My masculinity is the call of the wild as it calls out my name to be a sexual predator. As it tells me that girls are nothing but pray for me. As I forget their daily prayers to be safe on the streets. My masculinity does not know feminism. It only knows misogynism. My masculinity tells me to grow my ego as I spit in the face of humility. My masculinity does not know common sense. It only knows senseless fights. It tells me that fists and violence are the answers to problems. It tells me that fighting is the way we men communicate. It's how we show signs signifying our dominance. My masculinity only knows the top. It only knows success. It tells me that failure is not for men. My masculinity is said to be a blessing, and yet I'm praying for it to understand that being a man is not being an animal. Being a man does not mean hurting women. Being a man does not mean being manly. Being a man means being a human. After all, it's human nature to be imperfect. Thank you.
All right, everybody give it up for Gareth. Nice. And D-Soul got a 25.2. Judges, I need your scores. I got 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4 score. Can I get a 5th score? Oh my goodness, right on time. Let them know how you feel. We got a low of a 6.7, goes up to a 6.9, a 7.8, an 8.1, and an 8.9. Again, fuck the scores. I'm just glad to see a whole bunch of artists in the same room together sharing community. That's what it's about. So give it up for the poet. Nice. And speaking of community, we are not the only reason that the Berkeley Slam exists. The Berkeley Slam exists because we have been in the same venue since 1998, the Starry Plow. So if like obviously right now, venues, restaurants, bars, pubs, all very, very shut the fuck down right now. But we want to be able to make sure that we have spaces to go back to when we can come together. And what that requires is that we all go to these spaces and donate to them, buy things from them if they still have online selling. So the Starry Plow, I do believe, does have a GoFundMe. I do believe they've reached their initial goal, but they are still fundraising because this pandemic and this national emergency is ongoing with no real end in sight yet. So the more that we donate, the more likely it will be that we will have a space to go back to when we are able to go. You can also buy gift cards for the Plow. If you go to their Facebook page, they have more information. You can go to the Starry Plow in Berkeley on Facebook, and you can donate, get a gift card. Just any way that you can support the space is another way to support us, which means it's another way to support artists. Lit. Now that we've said that, it's time for another poem. So on deck, we got Hobby. We'll give maximum love to the next person coming up on the mic. Give it up for Dog Days Are Over.
Ooh. Yeah, Dog Days.
You have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I was born at the cusp of revolution. Mayday, Beltane, blossoms of mounted chaos. There's always arson, rioting, night before. I'm reborn every year. I always I always smell smoke the next day, fragrance like clashing fists and lost tongues. My birthday is apocalypse, as in another veil pierces to uncover sunken mirages. Everything's usually closing, opening, rent, scholarships, documents, quarantine. Rebellion, bloodshed, cyclones, earthquakes. My name is a lullaby, but I don't mean it is always pleasant. I mean, its dissonance reveals places on my throat where I've choked myself most. I pull in everything from my mouth and it collapses into a something, e.g. this poem, e.g. the United States, e.g. the White House, e.g. a funeral speech for thousands of nameless bodies unwritten by Bibles of history, e.g. preacher swallows a gospel and administers xenophobia, administers homophobia, administers fear of anything, unlike the something they pulled out of the everything that they don't know about God. Portals in my forehead resonate too intensely to ignore. I think of celebrating the day after, the week after, the month after, the year after, the lifetime after I've stopped grieving what should have been a living body. Planets unaligned round my singularity, but constellate so anchored within my trenches. I think that is how dead things grieve themselves into living. They take a lifetime and condense it into unfurled candles of warm fireplaces. A mirror in my forehead tells me it is always my birth minute. Being alive is enough to celebrate unabashedly with fermented fruit and soft iced bread, not my last supper tonight. God pulls in everything out of a something and it becomes a preacher sitting in the White House. Preacher epitaphs his own grave until history swallows him unwhole. Thousands of body gain the rights to preach, but still confined by rewritten declarations of interdependence. I've most choked on my throat in places my dissonance sounded pleasant. It is still a lullaby. A mirage unpierces itself. Smell of lost fists and clashed tongues start believing its lies again. There's always smoke day before arson ends. There's always rebirth day after my birthday. I was born at the cusp of an everything. Thus, I will die as rooted monolith of my every something. Thank you so much.
All right. Keep sending that good energy. 2 dog days are over. Can I get your scorizos? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got a low of a 7.5, goes up to an 8.7, an 8.8, a 9, and a 9. Give it up for the poet. Okay. On deck.
Those scores are wow.
Oh, and Gareth had a 22.8. On deck, we have Nicole, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Javi.
You have the floor.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Habanero hot sauce.
What is the point of loving someone if they cannot love the wretched out of you? I could say I love you. I could drown in it. I could learn to embroider and stitch love in the bands of all my underwear. I could become a dentist and pull love from every stupid man's teeth. Maybe I string the stars out from that ugly night in '94 and never even born myself. Maybe I call every constellation my mother's maiden name, and even now it's still just another beautiful thing made to die. Maybe a man never calls me beautiful, so I never taste him thereafter. It is my first time at a gay bar and there's so many white dudes here. I swear I'm at a party I wasn't invited to, but instead I tell myself I am learning every new face for shame, and every single one of them I want to kiss me. Trust me, I'd love nothing more than to stop talking about being brown, but I don't think I can do that while still being brown. I wasn't born with shame, just an affinity for things that do not want me back. I wake up brown, fall asleep queer, and in between, I learn every mispronunciation for my name. Tell me the first time he rips me in two, he stitches me back so well that when I wake up, I don't even notice the seam across my chest. Show me the future when I forget enough to make the same mistakes again. I don't want to be queer as in constantly thinking of what has wronged me, but queer as in I don't build with flammable things anymore. I will not pray myself away. The only times my hands kiss like prayer is in laughter. I clap so loud, my palms are dry. Next week I laugh so full, even my fucking bones have wrinkles. I queer so well that if I die, the skies will part with joy, the air so crisp, the world will finally inhale, free from keeping a bitch like me down, and boom, I'm in heaven, or boom, I am heaven. Look, I'm just biding time until I too can be something worth worshiping. I don't need someone to miss me. I need my mom to speak to me the same way. I need God to need me as much as you say I need God. I'm building myself a heaven where all I do is watch everything that has ever made me cry like it is the first time it has ever made me cry. I smile and call the gentle bend a sickle I harvest myself. Each embrace turns into a bouquet of flowers no one ever picks. No one here to hurt me on purpose, on accident, out of spite or convenience. My blood is nothing but a vessel I never have to see. I love and I love and I love and I love. And God, if only I had room for more. That's it.
Give it up for Hobby. Yes. Before we continue, I have another thing to announce. Like, we're poets, and like in order to like poet, you kind of like have to write. So we have a writing workshop every Wednesday before our show at 7 p.m. via Zoom. You can always check out our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We will always have that link posted so that you can join our workshop. Our workshops are oftentimes led by our features. So if you want to really, really be a part of the community, really get down and write with us, share space with us, share creativity and ideas with us, definitely check us out. Follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, so you'll stay tuned into our workshops. Lit. So judges, I need your scores. I got lit. Did we do it? I think we did do it. We just broke the 9 barrier because we have a low of a 9.2. It goes up to a 9.3, a 9.4, a 9.8, and our first 10. Give it up for the poet.
Gang, 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 gang.
All right, and for reference, Dog Days Are Over had a 26.5. All right.
At least those scores weren't all homophobic.
We don't have homophobic judges. I'm pretty sure we vetted them. I'm pretty sure a lot of them are queer. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we don't have homophobic judges. I hope not. Please message me if you're homophobic and we'll replace you. On deck, we have Colin, but give maximum love for the next poet coming up on the slam. Give it up for Nicole.
You have the floor, Nicole.
Mic check.
Yeah, we can hear you.
New shit.
New shit.
I imagine my mother lacing up her track shoes catches the eye of my father. He is a slacker, but proactive when it comes to girls. He introduces himself, but omits the fact that he is cutting class. And a track meet is the only place he can be without getting in trouble. I'm sure my mother ignored him. She, just like I would be, requires strict focus before a big meet. I wonder if she even remembered his name or glanced out at the bleachers before her event. But afterwards, he tries again, omits more details like his age, his last name, or where he lives. I'm sure he still loved his Mustang more than her, picked her up in it just to impress her. I'm sure afterwards my mother lied about who she was with. Overbearing parents and lying kids is a repeating pattern after all. Before my father, she had plans. Graduate, be a sun devil, have a career in journalism. The acceptance packet, not the rejection letter. Finally, a date to escape home, just like I would years later. 18 comes before graduation. Her, just like I would do, pack up and move in with someone else, but go about life as if nothing has changed. And for a while, I'm sure my mother enjoyed it. Freedom, the boy she was crazy about, him taking care of bills, until it all changes. One morning, finding out that young, exciting, and no need to plan changes. Suddenly, there is a plus sign before there is a person. There is an ultrasound before a panic. My mother rationalizes by telling the ultrasound tech she has always wanted to be a mother. I wonder if he ever wanted to be a father. But she celebrates a final high school fun, prom. Takes mandatory photos with my father and pretends it is just the two of them. I wonder if she realized that was the only photo her daughter would have of the three of them. I wonder if we both realized there were more photos of the three of us.
Pew, 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 pew.
Nice. Everybody
Go.
send maximum love to the poet Nicole Tracy. Lit. Judges, I need your scores. I've got 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4. Why do I feel like I can't count? Who's our 1, 2, 3, 4? It's because I can't count because I'm looking at 5 scores. Let's see. You already knew it. We have a low. Let them know how you feel of a 7.3. It goes up to
Boo.
an
Boo.
8.4, a 9,
Boo.
and a 9.8. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet.
Whack.
All right. And Javi had a 28.5. So on deck, we have Chardonnay, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Colin.
You have the floor, Colin.
Gang, 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 gang.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Perfect. All right. I'm from a cemetery where the dirt is constantly filled with lead and flesh. Empty midnight streets echo the voice of a boy whose face I can't quite remember. I mean, I've forgotten what my childhood friend looks like. His name becomes too hard to pronounce, only being able to place singular features on the faces of his family members, like how his brother got the same eyes, his mother got the same nose and smile, his cousin caught the same bullet. I'm telling you, I see ghosts in the face of the living. I hear them cackling in empty hallways. The laughter sounds a lot like stray bullets and shattered glass. When he died, we planted a tree in his honor at our high school. And now his only legacy has withered into the soil, a patch of dirt resembling a tombstone. Have you ever watched someone die twice? Watch as your last memories turn to ash and get lost in the wind. How do you mourn something so easily blown away? And now even his name rots in the back of my throat some days. Memories are the only thing keeping him alive. Other days I count the forgotten times as another death. I've learned that forgetting is not the same as mourning. Mourning is forcing yourself to remember the lines on their face, the inflection in his voice. That his smile could light up an entire basketball court. Mourning is learning how to say his name again, refusing to dig another grave on your tongue.
All right, give it up
Pew, pew,
for
pew, pew.
Colin. Judges, you know what I need from you. All right, we got 2 scores, 3 scores, 4
Pew, pew.
scores. Let's get that fit score. Can I get a fit score? Y'all remember that refill song? That shit was so lit. Ooh, I cannot see that score like at all. There we go. Okay, so let them know how we feel. We got a low of an 8.9, and then it goes up to a 9.3, a 9.4, a 9.4, and a 9.8. Give it up for the poet. And Nicole had a 25.4. And before we continue, I have a bunch of shout outs, so you're just gonna have to get used to it. You can share anything, if you see something you like, if you want to shout us out, do so, give us a shout on Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter, and always make sure that if you're shouting us out, if you're taking pictures or anything, to hashtag Berkeley Slam on social media so we can see you, see us, see you, seeing us, see each other. So on deck, we have Damani, but give maximum love to our penultimate poet of the first round. Give it up for Chardonnay.
Yeah.
You have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
A contrapuntal that needs a trigger warning. As a child, I swallowed a seed and planted it in my throat to choke on my words. Underwater rules, sea yellow sky, no reach or control of my mouth and lungs. The truth, it's not the first plant I nurtured myself. Groomed a garden, does it matter that the seeds were forced into my mouth I swallowed? A child, hiding whispers, my voice disappeared. Seeds filling emptiness, forcing deeper, and by the time I noticed the thorns I was already swallowing, more seeds and phlegms and splitting vines spitting out a parasite, silencing my voice. I played in a secret garden. The sky turned my stomach in, out, watching me bear. This is part of the game. The flower exposed. Sun paints yellow sky, teeth spreading the secret in front of me. Smiling, that was the joke. If I laugh too, I'm not alone. The seeds growing in me. More come. Follow when I leave the garden secrets. I think I know why I was embarrassed now. Spit it out, but full, unshakable seeds. Confessions of evil deeds are a fairy tale. It's just a game. Too full to speak, swallowing my words to hide blood, exposing myself. The first wound I remember. As a child, I played in a secret garden, swallowed a seed, and the sky turned my stomach, planted it in my throat, in, out, watching me bear. This is to choke on my words, part of the game. Underwater rules, see the flower exposed. Sun paints yellow sky, no reach or control of teeth. Spreading a secret, my mouth and lungs in front of me. Smiling, that was the truth. It's not the joke. If I laugh too, I am not the first plant I nurtured myself. Alone. The seeds growing in me, groomed a garden, more come. Does it matter that the seeds follow when I leave? The garden's secrets were forced into my mouth. I think I know why I swallowed. A child. Hiding, was embarrassed, now spit it out in whispers. My voice disappeared, but full, unshakable seeds. Confessions of evil deeds are filling emptiness, forcing a fairy tale deeper. And by the time I noticed it's just the thorns, I was already the game. Too full to speak, swallowing my words to hide the blood, more seeds and phlegm, and exposing myself. Spitting vines splitting out, the first wound, a parasite silencing. I remember my voice. That's all.
Word.
Yes. Send maximum love to the poet Chardonnay. Judges, you know exactly what I need from you as people, as community members. Okay, I think I can see it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. All right, we got a low of a 9, goes up to 9.4, a 9.5, a 9.8, and a 10. All right.
Why weren't they all 10s?
Don't ask me, I'm not a fucking judge.
We need all 10s.
That has nothing to do with me. I am an unbiased host.
Judges are fucking high.
no opinion about these scores whatsoever. I am just here to facilitate this game. Speaking of games, you know what's not a game? Money. You know what there's not a lot of right now? Money. So you can help us with that by donating on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/BerkeleySlam, you can support us monthly. That will give us the power to not only continue providing these artistic spaces for folks within the Bay Area and now globally, but also allow us, when we are able to physically meet again, to come back not just strong, but stronger than when we left. So the more support that you give us, the more things you get to see from us. So definitely check us out. There's different tiers that you can sign up at for all different economical ranges. So go to patreon.com/BerkeleySlam to donate. On deck, oh, and Colin had a 28.1. On deck, we have our feature. Make some noise, do a little woo, wave your hands if you know who our feature is. There's some people, I'm sure there's some people watching at home that like know who our feature is, but the rest of y'all are going to learn today. But that's on deck, because coming up right now is our last poet of the slam. Give it up for Damani.
Damani, you have the floor.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
In 1953, Eisenhower signed Order 10450, banning homosexuals from working in the federal government, resulting in hundreds being fired. In 1973, a judge ruled a person's sexual orientation could not be the sole reason for termination. Don't Ask, Don't Tell is initiated in 1993, banning openly gay persons from disclosing their status in service of the military. Ending in 2011, I wonder what over 50 years of secrecy looks like. I am old enough to answer half of this question. I am old as this lesson, when the older boys bruise arm and bloody nose for that gay shit. We were people and then lavender. I get it. There is something about this new country and color. If I am here, then one piece of legislation means I do not exist tomorrow. Tell my black side, my queer side went missing. Law is just coerced obedience. A name is what comes after. A name is what we call the criminal when we are specific. Lavender. Say it again. Lavender. What do we call an exile more consistent than love, than tragedy? It must be a genetic thing. This is a black pain the queer inherited. Order 10450 became known as the Lavender Scare, a moral panic about homosexual people in the United States government and their mass dismissal from government service. It contributed to and paralleled the anti-communist campaign known as McCarthyism and the Second Red Scare. I get it. Red is to communism, lavender is to evil homosexuals, black is to prison. They color the bad thing so often they bled the rainbow. You are lavender, say it again, lavender. What an honor it is to be so close to healing instead of a thing close to dying. Legislate me lonely and I'll laugh at my own jokes. Legislate me paper thin and watch your secrets expire when I tear. Call me a godless thing and I'll respond. God is just a trick we gag on. I heard there's a man that wants me dead in every state, in some airport bathroom, parked car off the interstate, late night in some park. He picks me, I lavender, and he takes me in. He calls me a disease scent, an airborne pathogen. So I enter his lungs, esophagus, right ventricle oxidizes, and now he is abstract. Hemorrhage. His nostrils, Mississippi petals at his garden cavity. Communism pulls at his feet. I'm just saying time has a wound in it. All the blood came from his nose.
Oh,
Pew, pew,
wow.
pew, pew.
Okay,
Word.
lit. All right, give maximum love to Damani. And judges, I need your scores. Got 1 score, 2 scores, 3 scores. Okay, let me make sure I'm actually counting correctly. Okay, yeah, I only have 4 scores because I will sit up here for the rest of the night waiting on a 5th score that's already been put up. Okay. All right, let them know how you feel. We have a low of a 9.4. It goes up to, it is a 0 to 10 scale. It goes up to a 9.5, a 9.6, a 9 point, can you move that a little bit closer? A 9.6 and a 10. Don't mind me, I'm just rolling a joint. Gotta stay prepared out here. Okay, and our last poet, Chardonnay, hold on, let me just go back and definitely act like I looked at that PM. Hold on. And Chardonnay got a 28.7. Okay. We have reached that point in the night. It is time for our feature. So I'm gonna read this bio, because I don't know about you or like anybody else who has ever read like a features bio, but I'd be mad impressed because I ain't done none of this shit. Like none of it. Maya Salameh is a member of spoken word collective studying psychology. That might be a typo. Where she also serves as an artist in residence at the Marquette. She is a 2016 National Student Poet, America's highest honor for youth poets. Let me just rewind that. A 2016 National Student Poet, which is the highest honor for youth poets in America. That's pretty lit if you ask me. And has performed her writing at venues including the Obama White House, the only White House that matters, Carnegie Hall, and her parents' kitchen, which, yes. She is a poet fellow at the William Mail Foundation and Leonard Slade Endowment. Her work has been published in the Greensboro Review, Asian American Writers Workshop, and Burning Wood Literary Journal, among others. Maya is the author of Rue, Paper Nautilus Press 2020. I need y'all to give maximum 1000% love to our feature tonight, Maya Salameh.
It is good, y'all. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you for gassing me up. Y'all, don't let my head get too big. So I have a couple poems to lay on you guys. So the first one is called Elegy with Amy Winehouse. The doctor told me I was exhausted or that I didn't have enough red blood cells. You sing and I start believing I have time to do things other than wait to run out of plasma. Amy, the doctors don't know what to do with me. You sing like dug up things and I listen in the stomach of summer. My headphones, you're starving. Amy, my grandmother sang her hunger just like you. Her voice is in my clothes and yours. When the doctor asked for a health history, I told him the men in my family were 70% smoke. I dip an index into a jar of sumac and smear the red constellation across my lids. Amy, the country where all subletting is dying, but they still sell cigarettes on University Avenue. My grandmother spoke like a pack of Newports, told me the kneeling building, said her temples tingled when she talked of old things. I like to think she was just anemic. Amy, grief tastes different in Arabic, something like pistachios. After the funeral, we go to In-N-Out. Me and my grandmother's son are sitting in a yellow booth, and my camisole can't fit all my bone marrow. I was told the Lord was leaven, so I bite into bun, watch the cashier wash his gloves off in the sink. Men who work miracles with their hands tend to die bloody. Sometimes I wake up with purple tonsils. It takes me 4 neighborhoods to fall asleep. Amy, I dream the buildings finally spilled from your pharynx. Every empty sitting room you made full. Every couch with one less girl-shaped cavity. In harmony, we peel back the sofa cover, point to the divot with our throat. Let me show you this melody. It's where I'm from. So that is that. So the next piece I got for y'all is called Will the Apocalypse Provide for Women with Big Feet? Because it is unfair that my fun size ass friends only pay $30 for sneakers, but whatever. The Spanish word for sun is sol, which in French means ground. Thus, the sun cousins the ground. By this transitive property, the gerund in my cereal is also a form of ground, and thus also a sun in milk. Ground, gerund. I was born in the gerund, and after me, a son, or son. From this equation, sun equals sun, girls conjugate the soldier aloud, give it body. By this operation, sun equals soldier. That tangle of a boy becomes limbs, becomes ground watching me 6,000 miles away. I proved the ground by dancing alone while heartbroken, soles pressing dirt back into the carpet. And my feet, though painted red, are still my own and ungainly, and this is beautiful and somewhat analogous to the sun. Every 2 weeks or so, the sole speaker of a language dies. Gift me the syntax. I'll return your navel, call an angel a covenant in the rain. A soldier is a sun, a tongued nimbus, a sun, translated girl, watching me walk. And the victory was tasteless. The country conquered only me in front of a Safeway, encanted by 2 chains on a god-tinted turtleneck. When the sun came, we met it armed. Cool. Pressing on. This is called Me and the Jinn in Your House Had a Talk About You. My mother wore all her dresses, the tags tucked in. I tell the Jinn I loved you like this, terrified but draped in lace anyways. I found a dress in the Marshalls on Grossmont that circled my waist like calligraphy. My sister knew enough to tug it down. I tell the Jinn I cannot stop buying clothes too small for me. You are all my excessive fabric. Look at me like holy books. I tell the Jinn I want our time to splay like memory. I tell the Jinn about memory, languages I'd known and forgotten. Somewhere the forgetting acquired its own smell. The Jinn offers me parsley and vanilla extract to summon your real name. Instead, I watch you adjust the evening seams in the mirror. And I'm not sure how to explain our sweat or your forearms, so I settle for telling him you twine like my first language. The Jinn in your house has seen my eyes full of furniture for you, all the acres of velvet. It bothers me we have so many bones. You wear all 200 as if they are each necessary. I want that certainty. I want to be standing again, halfway sighted in your room. You wore the deadness in such a way as to make others want it, to tongue the void you spelled. The Jinn never satisfies my curiosity. Are the jackets still in the bottom cabinet? When you watched me joke with your mother, did your navel twitch? Did she ask about me? You said I reminded you of the moon. Did she ask about me? My chest splits into orange quarters. I preserve our fraction like a lilac between the pages of my notebook. The Jinn buys a pair of pants on sale. I inscribe your initials in the dressing room door. We leave arms full. So that's that. Shout out to Marshalls. Cool. This is called Learning How to Mosh. Shout out San Diego forever. The first time I thought I wasn't angry enough. My sister leads me past overage men and teaches me how to use my elbows like teeth. I swim in all that negative space. I wasted so many years believing I wasn't divine, in rush hour traffic, in hand-me-down hoops, all the ichor licking my fingertips for sugar. The crowd splits like a supplication, and my mother treating me to Target pretzels and my body's translation of the sun and finding cursive in my roommate's coffee. My stubborn ankles, and how my nails never stop growing, even when the blue polish chips off, sky so botched, amended and beautiful. Cool. This next poem is called English Regrets Swiping Right. Cool. I press English against the wall, strip it of vowels. English dreams about me, wanting always to be on my tongue. I press English against the wall. English begs me. I drop calls. English asks me if I'm seeing other syntaxes. I wish we'd just phonetic and go home. English flashes the diphthong. I press English against the wall. English misses me. English is trying to keep me in bed. But I'm weightless and full of consonants. English begs for it. I stall. Think of the hymns. This is called Belly Dance Kinetics. I have a brother who suns down the street. I saw Shay down stage, shimmy funerals down my sleeve. Every spring, a new casket. Eventually, El Cajon will run out of ground. I have a brother who suns down the street. He watches me sway. How old was he when his language packed its bags and left? My skirt gets caught in my heels, my hip drops twice. 3 taps, I lean. I have a brother who suns down the street. My ankle seeps ichor, beat switch. I sweat. A body is just a corpse that hasn't admitted it yet. I have a brother who suns down the street. Every time I walk, it jingles. I follow the coins in the crux of my bicep. My wingspan must be at least 40 feet. I have a brother who suns down the street. My heart partitioned for stew meat. Are you hungry? Please, eat. Cool. This is called Jacques as survival mechanism because he is the only short man I will ever trust. At the concert, we make love to the blue lights, wind our arms, roll shoulders as if they are millennia. Every woman wants to be seen. I worship. Lavender girl pulling to the front, cerulean girl in my jacket, dancer in bright orange beanie. I pick what I need from the dance floor, sway in guava lingerie. Like hospitals, I'll be dying. Sprawling lie of the pharmacy filled with Mountain Dews and mascaras. Communion. I still think I will explode if I press my belly button too hard, but I believe in this blue light, the simplicity of a 16-song set, the faith the floor will be there tomorrow. After the concert, I swim in my skin, convince myself we made eye contact a second and a half. We all need reasons. Cool. This is phonetics. Here's a house, and the house has semolina walls, and the house is on a cobbled road, and the house is an apartment, and it has a staircase and windows like the sky yawning, and the house has a voice that sags like peeled ceiling. And the house is angry, and the house is sweating, blueberry filling in its mouth. Here's a sea, and all the salt is bent. And the sea is never just the sea, but kelp and skip meals and hemlock. The house has cataracts now and says human like the H has been decapitated or lopped off. The sea lopes around the house, and the house likes to think one day it will vacation on the island it was born in. When the house is old, it will spend a month in someone else's mortgaged apartment. Here's a sea, and you will spend months trying to remember how it is pronounced. The sea will watch you in restaurants, making you fumble the menu, and the sea will remind you of itself in your gums, like fudge the house had saved in the fridge for itself. And the sea is everywhere, in the bank, in the bed, leaning down to mount the meridian lining your throat. The sea is always cripplingly sweet, and the sea's innards are the color of stucco. Here's a house, and half the molars have been pulled out. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you. And so this piece is called Hemoglobin, and it's out of my book, which you should all buy if y'all want. Shameless plug.
Oh my God, how much?
Oh, you can. Oh, here, I'll put my Instagram in here too. But if you message me at here, I can send y'all a PDF copy or physical copy, depending on how y'all are feeling. So yeah, cool. This is Hemoglobin. My mother, all sandpaper hands and 1 non-functional nostril and 2 little blood and partially attached earlobes and 2 little blood. My mother reminds me to look both ways before responding to strangers. In free period forwards me fake news about abductions my mother has seen taken too many times. But most days my brothers and I keep to the back seats of the news about nations I will always love less than my nephews. And what are the demographics of heaven? And if I were a soldier or a statesman, where would my eyes live? And how rigorously is my death taught in English classes? One night, my brother chased a Viridian melon across the street. It felt like a bad analogy for the length of his name. And my death in sonnets, and my death in sonnets, and whoever decided sonnets must still be looking for my syllables, but I swallow a playlist and taste an approximation of my own face. I take my Bedouin eyes, my almond bruises, I switch on a radio, breaststroke through the back seat. The world record for the deepest scuba dive belongs to an Egyptian. and I'm sitting in a car in an overpass in orange light talking about my mother again. All we have in common now is plasma. Red is the first color to leave the color spectrum as you descend. My mother still can't swim. My father was a diver in college. He preferred having his pick of flood. I'm still looking for the sound that will refurbish my blood. Cool. That is that.
Okay, work.
Hello. This is called photosynthesis. Ripping grass from its stems, and orange blossom water, and I stretch like syrup spread over pancakes and blueberries and sweaters riddled with ampersands and the indigo of haunted places. And my body trembles like tectonic styles sometimes, but by God, do I glow like the $6 stars stuck to my ceiling, and glossing diary pages with date paste, and moving the melancholy away from my face with daisy clips, and dark-haired strangers, and purple LED lights, and every element invented before me, and Nat King Cole, and I am gorgeous all the time, and every war poem I've written without picking up a gun, and every day I've been a gunshot wound, and all the wounds snaking my arms like henna, or habeas corpus, and the cursive on my waist, and how things just kiss me. Cool. That's that. Next up, I got for y'all the Lebanese Revolution wears lilies in her hair. And shout out to my people for always fucking it up. The Lebanese Revolution wears lilies in her hair. She puts Carmex on in the mornings. Sometimes when the garbage is forgotten again on Thursdays, she buys fresh bread to remind her of the sesame seeds on an old lover's cheek. The Lebanese Revolution commutes to work. The cars in the intersection spell the sign of the cross. The revolution is told not to talk to boys. The revolution grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment with no windows. Once, she saw a playground she used to love gutted in the back of a newspaper. The Lebanese Revolution lost a lot of siblings to the forest. Sometimes she wakes up in her old flag. Sometimes Lebanon sees a ghost of hers in the mirror and keeps lining her eyes. She has had a lot of conversations with gravel. On bad days, the revolution forgets to put on mascara. Once, the revolution moved into a new house and had 3 fridges in it, but in that house she looked at her sister's eyes and she was dead. The revolution learned how to swim when she was 3. She gnawed her way through a neighborhood that turned out to be epileptic. Once, she ate a baguette that tasted like communion wafers. Sometimes, the ghosts just appear in the back of a magazine when the revolution was just looking for perfume samples. She sprays blossom water on the bed. The Lebanese Revolution does not use foundation. Once, she ate a relic for dessert. Once the revolution visited a national park. Apparently, redwoods can send each other distress signals. In biology, she learns the term symbiosis. Organisms bleed together. When a day asks about the cedar around her neck, the revolution says nothing. Trees communicate with each other. The poem writes itself. Cool. So this is called, I got a couple more poems for y'all if y'all are still with me. Okay.
Yeah. Gang.
I'm glad. Okay, wait. This is called Pomegranate Notebook, and it is also out of Ruhr. I'm running out of excuses to speak to a sad job boy. Earlier in the day, I gave a green-eyed boy my collarbone. I think I am in love with men, boys, men I want to take to the restaurant of the Red Sea, men who ensure I only go through a stomach at a time. I think of muscles straining the backs of shirts, and of every piece I return to the store for resizing. I long for Lebanon the way bulbs wish for electricity. He looks at me with those unfair eyelashes, and I sway. I think this is Lebanon. I think I am Lebanon. I spin my cedar around my neck. I like a boy again, but this time he is one of mine. He introduces himself to my sister, and I think I could build novels around the way he wears his ears. I want a man who walks like the moon on 2 legs. I think I'm a little bit in love with him, but I've fallen a little bit in love so many times, I'm beginning to wonder whether my love is maybe confused, pieced up, kind of like a Horcrux. Maybe I'm in love with Draco Malfoy. I dream of marriage, of unfearing eyes and knees bent, but I know this is likely another lie my mother told me. Edged in the Amazonian underbrush, his brows are uneven, but they work. They work. I think I'm the one convincing myself he is beautiful. Coastline shoulders, Mediterranean mouth, and me on my tiptoes unwinding the tendons of his back. Mountains scooped out like melons, the sunset sneaks. With every day I am awfully in love with some boy or another. And I walk like molasses. I was always the rose. These were just glasses. Oh, yeah, literally I read way too much fan fiction when I was young, so that's where we're at. Okay. This last poem is called Unscrubbing NBC Out of Your Hair or Diplomatic Immunity, after To Mosh, Sharif, and Drake. How we'd all pile into the car on cloudy days, letting me lay in the back because my friends knew I loved the open. The oldest language is silence, and we shared it in the car that was for the first time quiet with calm. Just a couple unassuming miles of velvet. How once we spent 2 hours listening to vintage Drake, how Drake sings for broken girls, how I believed for a long time I was, how the verse to find your love makes me feel brass and endless, me laying in a closed room, CNN, the smell of antibacterial, please don't be so ashamed, why is this so familiar, party tonight, how do I explain this, I like a woman with a future and a past, I had a body and then there was a war. Drake says they keep telling me don't save you, party tonight, and I'm no one's daughter, just a girl on the hood of a hand-me-down Buick. This can't be your first time. I'm so young to be so old. It's still fresh on my mind, the way you talk, the voice in your speaker, sweat, practice, the presidential suite, the elevator. Drake assuring me I was shutting it down. Thanks, y'all. That's my set. Thank you for hearing me out. Have a love to everybody.
Thank you. What?
Give it a
Whoa,
10.
oh my god, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I just need like, give me 2 seconds to get myself together. Wow, that was amazing. Oh my goodness. Buy Maya's book. What's your Instagram?
Oh, it's Maya Salameh with the extra H.
Okay, Maya Salameh with an extra H. You can catch it in our, if you're on the Zoom, catch it in our chat. I'm sure somebody's gonna throw it in the chat for her, our live stream. Definitely follow her and buy that book. Get that book. Get that book. Support artists. I can't say it enough. But yes, thank you so much. We're gonna take a quick, how long? Like 5, 10?
5. Let's do 5.
Okay.
5 is good.
We're gonna do a 5-minute break. After the break, the top 5 poets from the first round will be competing. So don't go away. You're gonna miss an entire half of the show. But we'll see you back here in 5 minutes. Shall we get back to it?
Bum, ba-dum,
See
bum, ba-da-dum,
if we can get people
bum,
to
ba-dum, bum,
start
ba-dum,
filtering back in.
somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere beyond the sea.
You know we still have a live stream, right?
Oh, am I on? Oh, fuck, I'm unmuted.
Hit that shit, Tino.
Oh my god. Are we streaming right now?
Yes, the stream does. There is no way to pause this stream. I told you this at the beginning, so we do not stop. So everything, this is all live right
Word.
now.
Love that.
I'm fine with
I
it.
want everyone in the world to know that our
We need a
features
DJ
are
anyway.
phenomenal.
Whoops.
You know, I'd rather the stream get taken down for copyrighted music than other reasons.
Okay, let's make sure we got all of our judges here. Judges, if you can put your scoreboard up so I can see you. Nice. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm getting better at counting, you guys. It's so beautiful.
So proud.
So we have all of our judges. Congratulations to all the judges for staying. You not only warmed my heart, but I mean, I would say you warmed my soul, but I don't have one. So you warmed my heart, and that's great. All right, and then let's make sure we have the poets. So y'all will be reading in this order. We got Damani. Make some noise if you're here. Hey. Then we got Chardonnay. And then we got Colin.
Oh, we can't hear anymore because I closed this.
Colin, are you still here?
Oh, yeah.
And then we have Javi.
Woo.
And then we got Dog Days Are Over.
Here.
Lit. We have all of our poets. We have all of our judges. Are we ready to start the second round? No. No.
No.
We need another sacrificial poet.
Oh.
I know, like, I don't know about you, but I might have gotten a little drizz, a little smidge during the break. So got to recalibrate these poets, these judges, with another sacrificial poet. So I need y'all to give maximum energy to our calibration poet for the second
Spill
round.
the blood.
Give it up for Bambi.
Ambi, you have the floor.
So content warning, there's depression and self-harm in this poem. If you deal with those things, please take care of yourself. If it triggers you, please take care of yourself. Okay. I believe I'm the type of depressed that knows it's depressed, that seeps through guides of depression under the guise of homesickness. When depression makes this place look a lot like home, it's the same depression that kept my room dirty and kept my body stale and my arm red. It's the same depression that got so familiar with my being, I stopped being able to differentiate it from me. I believe I'm the type of depressed that stays depressed, that wonders if people can see the depression hovering over my smile, over my sentences, weighs on my existence like a cinder block, boxed up my ambitions and goals and decided to let them collect dust. I think I could deny its existence until now. Blame it on my hometown, my parents, my dirty room, my high school, my friends or lack thereof, my scheduled routine or lack thereof, my loneliness or lack thereof, myself or lack thereof, but no. I believe I'm the type of depressed that doesn't want to say they're depressed. Rather just wait until someone gives a fuck and then still not say anything. I really don't want to be an inconvenience or bother. I'm sure you have your own shit to do. Maybe you're feeling the same way, in which I don't want you touching me anyways, because apparently I'm very fragile, or not fragile at all. Emptiness feels a lot like loneliness, except you don't want anyone else around. You're not even sure you want to stick around anymore because shit, this party is fucking lame. I get little bursts of excitement and it feels like opportunity is knocking on my door, but when I go to answer, they run away and left shit on my porch. I believe I'm the type of depressed that looks functional. And I'm the type of depressed that doesn't trust therapists, think they make money off my depression, so they want me to stay depressed. The type of depressed that that's that mom calls right after they've cut themselves. My tears still streaming down my face at the sound of her voice on the other end of the receiver, knowing this is exactly the situation she never wants to receive. I just really miss my mom. I really want my dad to be proud of me. And I really don't want to seem weak. Really want to get some sleep. That's it.
Yes. Everybody give maximum love to Bambi, our sacrificial poet of our second round. All right, judges, I hope you know what to do. We got 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4, 5. Your score keeps disappearing, but I think if you stay right there and don't move ever again in your life, it might not go away again. Oh no. As soon as I finished saying that, it was all bad. All right, we have an 8. Keep your scores up till I read them out. You got an 8, and then it goes up to an 8.3, a 9, a 9.2, and a 9.8. Give it up for the poet and not the points. All right.
Go poet.
All right, judges, y'all are ready now. I trust you. Lit. All right. On deck, we have Chardonnay, but give maximum love to the first poet of the second round. Give it up for Damani.
Damani, you have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
My voyeurism kink discusses love with my fear of intimacy. In the mirror, we see Jezebel's misassigned gender, trans by intimacy, by Webster's neglect. Give us an origin story for those looking for love in all the wrong places that does not end with. Pinned down in the photo, oversaturated, caramel skin mistaken for a boy from last month. Come slut that swallows grief. Once, a man stole your wallet to learn your real name, said he liked when you act black, and when all was said and done still called you immature, sexy thing, an exotic first, pair of legs, chest hair, teeth, jungle fever's funnel. Intimacy chimes in, says, why can't I be a beautiful thing no one can hold? I want, but want to be left alone. My wants want more, but fall into the same traps to ask for intimacy and find sex hidden behind a bouquet of roses. Why isn't there an English word faster than stop? My voyeurism watches. My voyeurism dissociates and takes pictures for my lonely nights. My voyeurism settles for being left on red if it means I get attention when I don't want it. My intimacy asks what kind of love revolves around choking. And if I come, does that also mean I like drowning? Asphyxiation is an outdated gift. My survivor's guilt helped swim the passage, a leftover from every death we escaped. See, I'm making pleasure an ancestral thing. You took my breath away and I want it back. My callous hands, a cut from every good I've let go. And every time I let documents spills from the open, blood drip in the form of someone's weekend. I have been left on red in 3 languages. Love 2 continents, triple texted numbers that keep my shirts as cum rags, my heart as a maybe not. I love neglect. I love torture. I love fear. I love. Notice, I never named myself.
Purr, 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 purr.
「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」「」
All right, everybody give maximum love to the last poet, Damani. Judges, you know exactly what I need you to do. Okay, okay, we have 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4 score, 5 score. Let them know how you feel because we got a low of a 9.0. It goes up to a 9.0, and then not 1, not 2, but 3 whole 10s. Give it up for the poet and not the points. All right. Yeah, speaking of poetry, we're literally not the only poetry slam that is doing online events based in the Bay. So I'm just gonna shout out one of our other Bay Area shows. The Santa Cruz Word Church has an open mic on Instagram Live every Monday. If you follow at Legendary Collective, you can get more information about that. It's a really dope open mic. I'm gonna save the other ones for in between other poets. But on deck, we have Colin, but give maximum love to the second poet of the second round. Give it up for Chardonnay.
Have the floor.
A letter to myself. I love the fuck out of you, but sometimes you have me fucked up. What we're not about to do is sit here and spiral into gray, powerless nothingness. I know you've been grieving. You've lost so much. Sometimes your heart feels as empty and dry as the desert you still call home. Remember the day we found waves of water lines where a stream once flowed? The ground there is hard as your bones breaking open for tumbleweeds to grow. By the end of that year, you thought your heart was full of them, no longer green or living, dried out and scraping everything they touched. It's okay. It's rare to see antelope in the Antelope Valley, but bitch, they're fucking there. You know, I'm scared of making friends too. They'll see your bruises and poke at them until you bleed or leave after promising they won't. Either way, you're stuck in pain from an unexplained wound. We have the same scars and they don't tingle, they fucking ache. So what? We never trust someone again? Or we can stop putting our heart into hands that are afraid of the blood. Loneliness kills as much as loss, but your heart has never been empty. It overflows with love, with joy, with tears, enough that your veins will never run dry, crust over, or crack. The last time we had this conversation, you took enough pills to get sick because you didn't have enough to end your life. The glass shard would have if the river of blood that stained everything didn't wake me up. I don't think we've seen our birthday without red vision since, a celebration of lost friends and that fucking hospital visit. We've had some nights where I stayed awake fighting everything that says you shouldn't stay alive so that you never hear the word. So believe me, I care about your fragile feelings. They're valid, but getting stabbed over and over again doesn't mean we get to pick at it or yourself when we're finally healing. Olodumare said your destiny is powerful and you're not meant to do it alone. Who are you to doubt God? Stop fighting against me and start fighting for me because I do love you, but you've got me fucked up. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Chardonnay. Judges, you know what I know. You know what to do. 2 scores, got 3 scores. Can I get 4 scores? Let me see if I can get that 5th score. Y'all got a group chat. Y'all got a group chat, huh? Because we got a low of an 8.8, and then it goes up to an 8.9, an 8.9, an 8.9, and an 8.9. Give it up for the poet and not the point. All right. And Damani had a 29.0. On deck, we have Hobby, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up onto the slam. Give it up for Colin.
Colin, you have the floor.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Meet Larry, but he doesn't like to be called Larry. He says Larry is his slave name. Larry likes to be called some random ass Egyptian name he found online, but his mama named him Larry, so I'm gonna call him Larry. Larry loves YouTube documentaries. He prefers them over his college lectures, says he don't trust the white man's lessons, so laterally, Larry was part of his campus BSU, but he skipped every meeting to smoke weed, but don't worry, Larry's still woke. He says even when he's asleep, his third eye remains open. Larry loves essential oils. Larry uses a non-essential amount of essential oils. Larry likes to walk around Lake Merritt. He calls every black man he sees a king. He calls every black woman he sees a queen, but only to their faces. Behind their backs, he calls them things I wouldn't name a dog. And yes, Larry is a dog. He barks the loudest, but does the least work. Larry claims he's doing the most, though, that he's all about his people, but only those he considers human. Larry believes in what we call trickle-down niggonomics. Larry believes that if you free the straight black man, then that privilege will spread down to the rest of the community. Only Larry never liked to share privilege or space, but Larry loves to control everything except his own actions. Larry likes to talk shit about the white man for his abuse of empirical structures of power, but then turns around and uses ancient Egyptian culture as an excuse to abuse and uphold empirical structures of power. Larry is a hypocrite. And speaking of Egypt, Larry's West African ass claims the wrong side of the continent only to have the nerve to come up to me and say, do you know where you're from, brother? See, Larry likes to question everybody's blackness, but doesn't stop to ask why his is only rooted in tearing everyone down. Larry spends more time arguing with black women on whether or not their menstrual cycle is natural than he does doing something productive like looking for our missing children or ending violence in our communities. I don't know, hugging his fucking mama. See, Larry has all his priorities fucked up, or better yet, he is his only priority. His self-centered activism adds a chain for everyone that was ever broken. Larry is a hotep, pro-black, and anti-progress, like freedom was a promise made to him and him only. But Larry, don't you realize that when you spend so much time holding people back, you never actually move forward? That the same niggas you tearing down are the only ones holding you upright. These white folks don't care about how proud you are of your black, but we care about how ashamed you are of ours. What are you gonna do when your ego fails to stop a bullet and there's no one you deem lesser to shield you from the impact? And now you find yourself standing in front of God and all your newly minted ghostliness. White Jesus doesn't know you and black Jesus pretends not to. Who will you pray to then? Don't you remember? Ain't nobody got us but us. So if you don't got us, then you must have nobody.
All right. Give that positive energy to Colin. All right, judges, you know exactly what I need from you. All right, we got one score, two score, three score, four score. Let me get that fifth score. Can I get a fifth score? Okay, I think I got it. All right, let them know how you feel. We got a low of a 9.2, goes up to a 9.2, a 9.3, a 9.6, and a 9.9. Give it up for the poet and not the points. All right, Litterman Toast Crunch. Yeah, like I said, we're not the only other show in the Bay that is doing online events. We also have the Rich Oak Alchemy Slam, which is every first and third Saturday on IG Live at Rich Oak Alchemy, as well as the Oakland Poetry Slam every third Tuesday at Luca's Tap Room. We'll be hosting our show from now on Zoom, of course. And through live stream. If you'd like to sign up for those, visit the Instagram pages, Rich Oak Alchemy and Oakland Slam. You can find more information about how to sign up on. And for reference, Chardonnay had a 26.7. Now, on deck, we have our last poet of the slam. Dog days are over, but give maximum love For our penultimate poet, give it up for Javi.
Javi, you have the floor.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay. In the provinces during the rain, the cracks flood blood clear, and the children dance on grave sites here, where a man could drop like rainwater, and the thirst of the pavement will leave only his loved ones behind, like proof he ever existed. I wish I could look my grandfather in the eyes and tell him I am capable of love he cannot see, but he has seen everything. The crops die and you plant more with the spare savings on the high shelf. But how do you grow back the remnants of a child? With sacrifice. My mother tells me you can turn a bag of rice into a cracked family photo. I stare at all the ones where his face is covered with a cloud of black Sharpie. As a child, I practiced my signature on another man's face and called the work my father. Everything, in a sense, ends up in the hands of a man who could break me and leaves me to do the work for him instead. Every man I have ever loved is the same, and that every time I speak, he thinks it is about him. And it's true. When I say I loved him, I mean I forgot every horrible thing and replaced them with new ones. I learned to say love in a way my grandfather could hear and not understand, and this is how you keep safe. Keepsakes are a lot like a language in how we learn them from someone else and hold them in our mouths. I wish I could either spit or swallow, not purgatory, some wretched being inside of me. This isn't how you remember your way back home. It's a point in time. Home is something someone else holds hostage, and in that way, at least you're also held. A man on the street you would kiss if he asked of you demands you go back where you came from, but you don't remember how. Or you do, but you know they won't want you. You want so badly, don't you? You want so wretched it seeps out of you, and this man tells you it arouses him. Makes you easy to spot in a crowd. This isn't about your father. He would at least walk you home safe before laying even a hand on you. This is a new man's country. This is a new man's language. This is a new man's tongue. It's raining so loud. You swear it's you outside. Wet. Thank you.
All right, give
Pew, 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 pew,
maximum
pew.
love to Javi. Lit. Judges, you know I need your scores. Okay. 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4. How many scores are knocking at my door? All right. Let them know how you feel, because we got a low of a 9.3, goes up to a 9.5, and then a 10,
Whack.
a 10,
Whack.
and a 10. Give it up for
Whack.
the poet. Did you say a 10 is whack? Like, that's the highest score you can get. I don't know what you expect from these judges.
A Beyonce is what I expect.
I can't give somebody money because of a Beyonce. Like, I need scores in order to give a poet money. So as much as I love Beyonce, that's not going to be a score that works. And Colin got a 28.1. Okay, on deck, we have chilling the fuck out and, I don't know, going to bed or maybe staying up all night. Who knows? Live your life. You're at home, hopefully. But give maximum love to our last poet of the night. Give it up for Dog Days Are Over.
You have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Second self-portrait. I unbury myself call it resurrection of my midden silence. You gaze away, call it misintention of your misheld mirror knives. I relove myself, call me holy, forsake no bone. You call me God of unburnt Bibles, but this cathedral was built to make you think me God. I uncollapse into a mirror. This is how I rebirth myself on command. On command, I take your filed knives and invert your misintention into filed cabinets. I rebury myself into my own skin's every crack, so my silence perishes uproaringly. If silence is death, why am I still alive after every system tried taping my eyes shut? When they gaze away, your throat can bloom a bullet into the brains of dirty hegemonies for clean white hands. The moment they eye contact, their skulls splits every time you speak, but only if they listen, and dirtless fingers know not how. So I weave my face into a gaping cave to let sunlight pass through. Both my eyes meld into monolith, this celestial satellite, this unmidden node. Attention is how pockets fill or empty. I prefer mine full enough to stay alive. So I give birth to myself each time an eye gazes into my stained glass irises. This is survival of clashing bones and gnashing teeth. How the fuck else do you expect me to stand here? All smooth porcelain outside, all crackled kaleidoscope inside. I palpitate and flicker until there is no spark left for you to shame me for kindling. The whole fucking planet holds my lantern body to your eyes and asks, what about all the passionate infernos in your heart you left for dead? Don't they deserve to be born again too? Aren't they made in your image too? If rebirth was simple, then everyone would shapeshift until they abstracted themselves into unrecognizable sculptures. The mantle tipped upon every mountain range knows the sun's name better than any star, crawled through so much earth layers just to be sun-kissed. And isn't that so familiar? So phoenix, to feel warmth more thankfully when it kisses your skin after so long. Multi-iridescent oceans shift wakes with dissolved algorithms. Isn't that the body too, a dissolved design of sacred stardust and refined harmonies? Isn't this my resurrected reclamation of my body when the nostalgia bursts from my every cell, yet lands into your ears so whole, so nested, so kaleidoscopic? Thank you.
Give it up for Hector. Yes.
Pew, 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 pew.
Judges, I need you for the last time tonight. I'm gonna need you forever. Like, we're emotionally attached now. Sorry. You should ask all of my exes. It's kind of hard to get rid of me. Okay, I got 3 scores, 4 scores, 5 scores. Let them know how you feel. We got a low of an 8.9, goes up to a 9, a 9.2, a 9.2, and a 9.6. Give it up for the poet and not the points. Lit. So like, that's it. Like, we reached the end of the slam while our scorekeeper Kalalia is tallying up these scores. Yeah, let me just tell you about like what's going on next week. We're having another slam. Oh my goodness, it's almost like we do these every Wednesday, right on our Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitter. Like, oh my God. But next week, let's see, next week is going to be super lit. Our feature is Angel Smith. So yeah, we got
Marie. It's Angel Marie.
I see Angel Smith right here, but thank you. It's Angel Marie. But yeah, our feature is Angel Marie. You should definitely come out if you want to sign up. Definitely check out our Instagram at Berkeley Poetry Slam. It has all of our sign up information there. So if you want to sign up, slam, you know, try your hand at the at winning a little bit of cashy cash. Definitely come join us. We would love to see your beautiful face. And then somebody asked, Maya, can you give us a little bit more information on Stanford Collective?
For sure. Honestly, Darnell would probably be the best person to speak to this because him and Angel Marie are actually co-directors of, basically it's like an amazing like poetry club. We like do kind of like shows on campus and stuff and try to get this STEMmy ass Silicon Valley school to care about poems. So.
Don't you have virtual mics?
Yes. Oh, we have digital open mics every Friday. Initiated by Darnell. He has done an amazing job getting amazing features. Last week we had Sophia Hello on. I forget who.
Gang.
Yeah. Awesome.
Lit. Thank you so much for the extra information. And now I have our scores. Let me scroll up just a little bit. All right, I need a drum roll, like a mini drum roll. Like, you can unmute yourself for this. This is actually going to be pretty fun. All right, in third place, give it up. With a 56.2, give it up for Colin. All right,
Colin. That's my best friend.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the people?
Anything I like to say to the people? Support Berkeley Slam, support the other slams. If y'all know there are other open mics doing virtual shit, don't just watch them, but also share that with various people in the community so that they can enjoy these shows too. And when everything opens up, get a chance to see all these motherfuckers live because they're absolutely even more amazing on a mic than on a microphone and not on their like phone mic or whatever. So yeah, don't just support from your couch. Support with your legs and go places when you can. When you can. And I cannot stress this enough. Michigan, when you can.
Your motherfucking ass in the motherfucking house. Thank you. Remember that when we're supporting these spaces, it's called activism, not astivism. We got to get up off our asses to support these spaces because if we're still sitting down when all of this is over, the spaces that we know and love and that we want to go back to are going to be to disappear. So like Colin said, when we get the chance to convene again in person appropriately and not because somebody wanted to open up an economy too early and let us all die, come on down to a show, support us, but most importantly, support the venues that are going to be hosting shows when all of this comes back. Make sure that they're still open because our venues, our restaurants, our bars, our cafes, they're hurting. So make sure you support the people that support us. And in second place, let me get a medium little drum roll. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh, words, I can do this. All right, in second place, give it up for Damani.
Yay, Damani! Hey, Damani, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
We love a verse.
Wow. Yes, thank you for listening. And yeah, thank you for listening. If anyone needs writing prompts, feel free to send me an email. I have a document full of prompts. Yes, that is all.
Lit. Yeah, poets supporting other poets, link up, write together. Thank you so much. And then in first place, I need a drum roll to end all drum rolls. Give maximum love for your winner tonight. Give it up for Hobby.
Woo! Hey, congratulations.
Speech.
Wow. We love a top.
Speech.
Aw,
Good
thank
job,
you, everybody.
Hobby.
I usually say just thanks and then I walk off the stage, but there's not really a stage to walk off of. So everyone's really good. I think I'm gonna lose my voice tomorrow because I was screaming for everyone. Drink water, take your medications. I love all of you. Okay, bye. Also support our feature, amazing feature, fierce, life-changing. Okay, I'm done. I'm getting really sweaty now.
Thank you, Javi. Give it up for Javi, give it up for Damani, give it up for Colin, and for every single person who touched this stage tonight. Give it up for Maya, our feature, for Kalelia, our scorekeeper, for our running the live stream, for every single person who was working behind the scenes to make this show happen. It wouldn't be possible without them, but most importantly, thank you, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for viewers like you. We're PBS of Poetry Slam. We need you. So thank you so much. Next week, next Wednesday, we'll be right back here featuring Angel Marie. Make sure you hit up our Instagram in order to sign up. Make sure you sign up for other shows, support other venues. My name has been Reggie. This has been the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Seacrest is not out, just gone.